Hey YouTube, RicoKnows here. Going to talk to you guys about my hidden gem on Coastal Carolina. If you weren't aware, I am pointing out one hidden gem on every single team in America. Please go to YouTube, go to the homepage, right? Search RicoKnows, go to the playlist and find the hidden gems playlist and go learn about a bunch of players you don't know about before the college football season. Please. But I'm talking about Coastal Carolina in this video. If you didn't know, I'll pull up their depth chart for a second here, and I want to show you guys something. This is our lads, and our lads does their best to be up to date and be accurate on the depth chart. And shout out to them. If you see yellow, that means it's a transfer or an incoming freshman. And I study these rosters like everybody else, or unlike anyone else. I study these things 24/7. And when I look at this roster, I look at Coastal Carolina, and before I thought about making this video, I just noticed a couple of errors here. First and foremost, Max Baltazar down here, the third string running back, he's done for the season. Okay, he will not be playing this season. I think he tore his ACL, and so did Dre Pinckney down here, the safety. So that means Gordon, who got signed late in the transfer portal cycle, is probably going to be the backup to A.J. Williams, who's coming over from Wake Forest. And without Max here, they went and got Simeon Price. They have some others, but yeah. That's just some of the errors I found. Now, if I was talking about this team and some of the guys I really believe in when I watch tape. So when I watch film on every single one of these players, I go back, check their huddle tape, check their game film. Anytime they played in a game, I go look for it. I try to find the clip and see what type of effort I'm looking at or I'm seeing. I'll watch entire games and I'll just take notes of numbers. I don't know the names. I just know jersey numbers. Then I come back, study the names. The guys that stick out to me on tape going into this season, Wyatt Gideon here. He was a true freshman last year at linebacker. Looks like a complete stud. Love everything about him. He looks like a football player to me. I understand Barry Brown coming in from Division II Tifton, I believe. They went undefeated in the regular season. Barry Brown's coming in, and he's got that seniority and everything, but Wyatt Gideon looks like a bad dude, okay? Matthew McDoom is a corner, bro. Shout out to him. Remember, last year they had Clayton Isbell at corner, and Isbell, shout out to he and his father. They reached out to the channel. I actually did a review on him after he had his 3-interception game against UCLA last year. But you know, when you see talent like Isbell on one side, obviously they're going to try to attack McDoom, and he ain't having it, bro. He's so good. I like everything I see from Matthew McDoom. Shout out to him, number 11. That was my number in high school, so I always pay attention to number 11s. That being said, none of these guys are my hidden gem. My hidden gem is actually going to be Javin Simpkins up here, the second string running back. And what you have to do is go back to last year. And if you go to last year, obviously, Grayson McCall, 3-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, gone, transferred to NC State. We'll see you later. Ethan Vasco was going to leave in the transfer portal. Then he had that monster game in the bowl game, and he stuck around. All right, so Ethan Vasco is still here. 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. Looks sharp. Let's see what he can do. Jared Guest hit the transfer portal. So did another kid. I'm forgetting his name. He went the JUCO route. Man, who was he? Dang it, I forget his name, and I apologize. He's a friend of the channel. Man, he was a late sign. He came over from South Florida. He was a recruit of South Florida's, and then he signed late following coach. Man, what was his name? It doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make here is when you go look at the running back room, Braden Bennett, he's back, and he is the bona fide starting running back. Congratulations. Here he is. But Beasley, gone. White, gone. Baltazar, gone for the season. Right? So Jared Brown, gone, went to South Carolina. So there's Simpkins buried on this depth chart, and now he gets his chance. So this is a man who was way down here in carries, and now he's going to get his shot. So who is Javin Simpkins? Who is this little guy? He's 5'9", 190, out of Miami. Shout out to him. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, initially, he was committed to go to Georgia Tech. And he had offers from all the Power 5 schools, and they had predicted him going to Georgia Tech, and then he flips and he goes to Coastal Carolina. It's an incredible get for Coastal Carolina. Former 4-star, the composite score is 3. They give him 3, but remember, 89 points is the highest you can be without being a 4-star. If you're a 90, you're a 4-star. And what I say about this is if you're going to Coastal Carolina, you're going to lose a star. You didn't lose any talent, you just lost the star. That's how I feel about it. But you see it down here. He had offers from Arkansas. He had offers from some other schools down in Florida. And then he had Buffalo there, right? But Bethune-Cookman, FIU's here. Pretty good to get offers from Arkansas. I trust the way they evaluate running backs. I really do. Their running backs coach at Arkansas, back when they were offering him, Jimmy Smith here, he's now the running backs coach at Baylor. TCU, sorry. He's the running backs coach at TCU. And he brought in a slew of great running backs at Arkansas. literally 5 deep at running back at Arkansas because of this man. Shout out to Jimmy Smith, former high school coach at Cedar Grove here in Georgia. Pretty good commodity. But here we have Javin Simpkins, and he's a little speed demon. Now, if you go and watch film on Javin, his senior highlights, I'm going to describe it in one word, and it's going to be a spin cycle, if you will. This man, you're going to see a couple of runs here. He makes people miss. He's kind of shifty, has a decent forward lean. Not the fastest guy, but definitely fast enough. Obviously, he's playing in Florida at a very high level. There's fast people on the field. But he hits his spin move more than I've ever seen any running back use a spin move. He's literally spamming circle every chance he gets. There's one spin. He spins and he goes. And his spin is on point. And I'm not saying he overuses it. I don't know if they're trying to coach it out of him. But he just keeps spinning. He runs hard. He doesn't quit. But it's a guy out here, just going to keep spinning. Instead of making a cut and trying to make dudes miss, he just hits that circle button, that Braxton Miller type spin. If you don't know the iconic spin that Braxton Miller had. But it's a good player. Obviously, there's some speed out here in Florida. But this is a young man that Coastal Carolina usually doesn't get unless it's via the transfer portal or it didn't work out in recruiting or he went the JUCO bounce back route, things like that. So to get him straight out of high school and develop him at this age and keep him for 3-4 years in your program would be special if they can. I think he's your hidden gem. I think him being the second back or the scat back or the change of pace back coming off the bench is going to be impressive. He's probably going to average a decent amount of yards per carry if he gets it. It looks like he can catch the pass out of the backfield as well. But I know one thing. If you're not ready for the spin and you didn't practice it, you're going to get spun on, bro. I'm looking for this man. The over-under on spin moves in a game is 2. I'm looking for this man to spin his way to a first down. But he looks like a special running back. And it looks like in a room where you thought they were going to have some issues with depth, losing Beasley and things like that, they actually have really good players. They actually have young talent that's rising to the top, and Simpkins is a prime example of that. Yeah, I just like the way he runs, man. And imagine, you keep lifting weights, getting bigger, faster, stronger at Coastal. It should pay off. They're going to need a decent running game. They're going to need to rely on a decent running game because Vasco is not what they've had in Grayson for the last 3 years. It's just not. It's different, okay? So, or 4 years, I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to seeing a 1-2 punch in the running back room. And this guy, he just spun again for another touchdown. I just see it. Now, here he is at DB. Obviously, this is irrelevant. But I like the aggression. He runs up to smack somebody. I like the aggression, especially when you're on defense. Give him his snap. Let him do his thing. He hits the holes. He just finds it, man. And I think he has decent burst. I want to say this. I think he has decent acceleration, for the first 10 yards. He just has a little bit of burst to him. Top end speed, guys are running him down at an angle. I see it. There's no need to tell me about it. But that initial burst to hit the hole and find those 3 or 4 yards, yeah, that guy's got it. So I think Simpkins is my hidden gem on Coastal Carolina. There's a number of other guys I believe in. There's a number of other guys I'm pulling for, but this is the one that, due to injuries, it's a next man up mentality, and I also think that he was probably going to pass Baltazar on the depth chart without the injury, but this just solidifies that he will be getting more reps than everybody else. So my hidden gem for Coastal Carolina, Javin Simpkins. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Go watch the rest of the playlist, y'all. Peace.